Give a coin to your witcher! What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review. Today, Netflix has just released a new movie called The Witcher Sirens of the Deep, which is an animated Witcher movie in similar vein to the one we took a look at a couple of days ago on the channel, which I watched in preparation for this one. However, this is our first ever sort of rendition of Liam Hemsworth, Thor's older brother, Chris Hemsworth's younger or older brother, and he is here reprising the role, or taking over the role, as Geralt of Rivia from Henry Cavill, who was our previous Witcher. And although Henry Cavill not being the Witcher anymore is unfortunate, I do think in this version of The Witcher, Liam did a very good job at taking over the role. So without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. This is a 2025 action-adventure movie, which is 1 hour and 31 minutes. It has a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, a 4 out of 10 on IGN, and a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch this on Netflix and Netflix alone, and hired to investigate seaside village attacks, mutant monster hunter Geralt unravels an age-old conflict between humans and sea people that threatens war between kingdoms. I'm not going to sit here and try and deny the fact that this is kind of a Little Mermaid story and a little rip on the Little Mermaid story. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. The story opens up with Geralt and not Yennefer, the bard, I forgot his name, going on a seaside quest to kill a monster. He then gets his mind changed by the mer people being like, no, don't kill it please, it's done nothing wrong. It's the humans that are stealing our oysters. So, because they're now poor, because they didn't go through with the plan, they then go back to making a deal with each other and saying, hey, no matter what job comes, we're doing it for the money because we're absolutely broke. That means Jaskier, that's his name, has to go and perform with his old-time best friend, his sister, and they have a little bar dance session. The Witcher gets hired to uncover the mystery of who attacked who, and the king's son is actually in love with the queen's daughter of the mer people, and they're trying to make it work by visiting each other on a rock every day and having a little bit of a dance, the devil's tango as such. And then the Witcher follows the pattern, gets attacked by fishes, the humans attack the fishes, and then it leads to an all-out war assault. The Witcher and Jaskier uncover the mystery because it is the auntie, basically Ursula, who can turn into a giant kraken, is evil, and she's been working with the king to, kill the queen, kill the princess, so then the bloodline of both can go on pretty successfully, and they have their plans foiled by the Witcher, Jaskier, and Jaskier's friend. And then at the end of the story, the prince decides to drink a potion and turn into a fish and go spend the rest of his life in the water. I'm gonna be honest, that's the story. It's a pretty basic story, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty lackluster in terms of story. It did just feel like a rip on the Little Mermaid story, which we have had quite a lot of recently. Not gonna lie, we have had the recent live-action Little Mermaid recently, so it does feel a little bit overdone at this moment in time, but I still think The Witcher has a nice spin on the story to have it where it is the guy going into the water and turning into a fish. I quite liked that, and it was obvious, it was a very obvious plot point that it was going to be him that went into the water. You could just tell by the way the story was going, by the way they were all talking to each other and how they were all communicating, that he was going to be the one to go under the water and live his life as a merman. And I'm not fussed by that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Animation was fucking clean, not gonna lie. I kind of wish the whole Witcher series was done in animation, because this dude, Geralt, Henry Cavill, Liam Hemsworth could fucking never. This bitch turned into Levi. He was fucking spinning and flipping and fucking, like, dashing about like an absolute fucking menace. He felt like he was in Attack on Titan with the amount of flips and spins and jumps this bitch was doing. Honestly, I don't fucking know how he did it. Like, there was no need for some of the flips that he did, but they were badass and they looked cool. Yasuke is always cool. I like Yasuke. He's the comedic relief character, and I always like him. I think he's funny, and he was great here as usual. We didn't have much from Yennefer. We saw Ciri never. So I don't actually know where in the timeline this story actually fits. I was thinking that it would fit in between season 1 and 2, but then again, I'm not sure when Geralt would ever leave Ciri's side until the end of season 3. So I really don't know where this story takes place. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't really matter too much where this takes place. It is just another cool Witcher story. It's always nice to get more action from The Witcher, to get more story out of the world of The Witcher and see what else it has to offer. I'm gonna be honest, I quite liked this movie. This was a really good movie, and I don't know why a lot of people are hating on it. I've seen every review sort of shit on it, and I'm not really sure why. Their reasonings weren't that good for why it was shitty. Some of it was because it was animated, and it's a video game. The video game is CGI'd. Like, it's not real. It's animated, technically, in a fashion. It's not the right word to use. But still, it's not real people that you're playing the game from. So why is the fact that this is animated a big fucking deal? It shouldn't be a big deal if this is animated. Or anime style. It looks pretty. The colors are bright. You can get moves and action sequences that you cannot get in live action, and that you probably wouldn't be able to perform in video games. It gives you a new media and shows Geralt in a different light that we would never get before, showing him different moves and introducing different characters. Again, I've never played the games, so shit me all you want, but it introduces new characters from my knowledge to the world of The Witcher, and expands the lore, expands the universe, expands the map, bringing new people into play, which we could come back to later on in the series, and bringing new, more interesting sort of cities and places for them to visit, filling out the vast cities and filling out the vast islands of The Witcher world. I don't know if it's islands or if it's like big continents. I don't have a clue, but still, it does expand the world, which I think is really, really cool. Other than the animation being beautiful, voice acting is brilliant here. These actors have done really well to do really good voice acting, because it is a completely different set of skills. So they have done really good to translate their like acting skills into voice acting, and sort of make it believable and follow the same sort of acting techniques that they would do if they were actually playing the characters. Also, the new girl in this sounded fucking atrocious. I'm sorry, I just hated the way her voice acting was. She was putting on a British accent, a very fake British accent. Oh, that's what it sounded like, and personally, I wasn't a fan. I took the piss out of it anytime it came on screen. I'm sorry. I know she was trying her hardest. I thought her character was really cool. I will say that. I did think that she was a really cool character and vital to the story. And it was nice to have another sort of member of the Witcher team sort of helping them out for this movie. Although they were just solely for this movie, which was unfortunate, but it was still nice having yet another character to sort of see run around with Geralt. The acting wasn't that good, I'm going to be honest. The voice acting was a little rough. Rough around the edges. Character designs, I think, translated to animation quite well. I'm going to be honest, like, you could easily tell who each character was, and I was very excited to see that they had the actual voice cast of the series, and it just looked pretty. It was a really pretty animation style. I was just disappointed in how, like, lackluster the story was. Like I've said in plenty of other videos before, you can have brilliant animation, like absolutely incredible voice acting, but if the story's mid, it is gonna feel like your story, your show, your movie is a little bit lackluster. I'm gonna be honest. You can have the best like animation, voice acting, I'm trying to think of other things, music even in the world, but if your story's mid, it's going to bring down your whole film, and unfortunately I do think that is the case here with this one. I do feel like the story wasn't that interesting. There was a mystery, but you could easily work it out from the get-go. Like, it didn't come as, like, a big surprise that he was working with Ursula, or that he was, like, evil, and that he didn't want his son to marry the Merlady. It was clear as day, and it was very, very obvious, and unfortunately that did ruin it for me, because it became predictable, and it became stale. I was literally just watching it for the pretty animations, and the pretty animation style, and the colours, which is unfortunate, and I just wish it had a little bit of a better story, because this has quite a lot of potential. I hope that they do try and make some more Witcher animated movies and TV shows, because it is really good, and it just gives us more potential for what we can have in the Witcher series, and it is obviously cheaper to do, and you don't have to CGI the monsters. You can just draw them, and we can have better villains and more interesting sort of creatures for Geralt to battle and come up against. Overall, I think this was a pretty decent movie. I'm not going to say it was terrible, because it did its job, and it is a solid 6 out of 10 in my opinion. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I would recommend it to someone who hasn't watched it before. So, other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all in the next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want me to review any other movies, TV shows, or animes, please do leave it down in the comments below so I can easily find it and sort of watch it as soon as possible. Please do remember that I do have a backlog of film reviews, so it might take me a little bit of a while to get onto this movie, anime, or TV show that you have recommended, but I promise I will do it as soon as possible. Other than that, bye bye.